Yes, probably while we are sorting out that, let me just say thank you very much for inviting me to this a wonderful conference where I believe that we are going to learn a lot, and it will also give us an opportunity to network, as we have already said, as various entities, companies which are key for uplifting the economies of Africa and African countries. And as you rightly said, intra-Africa trade is really is at its infancy, and there's a lot needs to be done in terms of promoting intra-Africa trade, and like we have said already, that is now sitting at 14%, which we want to see it rising, so that Africa should be able to trade with Africa. And one of the most important things that needs to be done for Africa to be able to trade with Africa is to development of corridors, be it road corridors, be it rail, and as well as the airlines, because you find that sometimes it's quite easier for one to fly from Joburg, and you fly from Joburg to Heathrow, and quite difficult to actually find a direct flight from maybe Joburg to say for instance Cairo, or whatever country that you may think of. So we need to be able to develop these so that we can be able to promote such trade. Linking Africa is key for us, and hence we talk about the concept of linking Africa. Is quite key for Africa to be able to trade with Africa. We actually do have the population in Africa, 1.2 billion. We have the market in Africa. Just when talking about SADC, we are talking more than 300 million in terms of population. So hence, it's quite important for us to trade. Established the TKCS or the TKCMC, which is Trans-Kalahari Corridor Management Committee. I don't know, moderator, when I can continue my presentation. Can you able to share my presentation?
You know, technology is failing us. Maybe you may have just sent one of your trucks to come and deliver your presentation to us. It could have arrived faster than connectivity, ICT connectivity.
Maybe I can just, for the sake of time, I can
yes, maybe
and talk to my presentation. Yes. Yes. The Trans-Kalahari corridor, a road network, Botswana, Namibia, and South Africa. And this corridor comprises of a tied road network linking the port of Walvis Bay, that is South Africa. The corridor stretches over 1,900 kilometers from Walvis Bay to via Windhoek, Gaborone, and terminates in Pretoria, where it actually implements the two main corridors there, which is the North-South corridor from Durban to DRC and Zambia, Tanzania, and which also is a two-tier corridor, one wing going via Botswana, another one going via Zimbabwe or Bight Bridge. It also complements on the eastern part also the Maputo corridor from Durban via Swaziland and terminating in Maputo. And on the western part, it complements the Walvis Bay corridor as well as the Trans-Kunene corridor. These are the networks that are there in the SADC region, but of course, we get in the Dago, which also starts from Tanzania and terminates also in DRC. So so these are the networks that we have right now. Of course, these are complemented also by the rails, but of course, we know on the TKC only have a rail between Walvis Bay to Hobabis, and then we are absent there in terms of rail until Lobatse to Joburg, as well as up north to Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. The Trans-Kalahari corridor, the member states, after realizing the need to actually promote trade and facilitate trade and promote regional integration, established the TKCMC, which is the Trans-Kalahari Corridor Management Committee, a tripartite transboundary organization with a political and economic vision to pursue, or contribute towards a deeper regional integration within the SADC region, and of course, NEPAD. The governments of Botswana, Namibia, and South Africa, through the ministers responsible for transport, this agreement, an MOU in 2003, which actually established the organization. The member states are represented in the TKCMC by their permanent secretaries or DGs responsible for transport, and of course, the TKCMC, comprises of the private sector, the Ministry of Trade, customs, immigration, and all the major stakeholders or key players in the trade facilitation industry. They're all members of the TKC. Now, when looking at the objectives of the organization, one is to simplify cross-border transactions and customs operations along the corridor, as well as to facilitate the movement of goods and persons on the TKC by simplifying and harmonizing the requirements and controls that govern the movement of goods and persons with a view to reducing transportation costs and transit times, because this is key in trade facilitation. Transport costs, transit times, delays, they are quite costly, and hence they also raise operation costs, which at the end of the day impact even the till price, and by so doing impact the whole country. So hence the aim of trade facilitation actually reduce transaction costs as well as transit times. One of the key objectives is to integrate spatial, economic, and transportation planning for the contracting parties. This is to say, the corridor needs to be such that it's not only a transport corridor, because it doesn't benefit anybody if it's just only a transport corridor, but it has to be an economic corridor, a developmental corridor, whereby communities where the corridor traverse, they should be able to find a living out of the corridor and be able to get employment. And this is why you find that the thumb rule of corridor development, where a corridor traverses a settlement, that settlement within 50 years, it should be a town, because of the injection of economic injection that is brought in by the corridor. And one major objective is to promote deeper regional integration by harmonization of conflicting regulations and policies of the three member states in line with the SADC, regional indicative strategic plan. So this is quite key because we find that some regulations, they're in conflict. You find that when you are actually in compliance in one country, as you leave this country, crossing over to another country, you are not compliant. So these are very, very important for us to actually, harmonize so that a trade can be able to move smoothly. If I give an example, you find that for one to be able to acquire a PRDP or a professional driving permit to have goods vehicle. In South Africa, one has to be 22 years and above. In Botswana, one has to be 25 years and above. In Namibia, one has to be 25 years and above. So these are in conflict, such that if a 22 years or 23 or 24, who is compliant in South Africa, as soon as they're crossing the border to go and deliver somewhere, maybe a shop right, whatever, now they become incompliant. Hence, we need to able to harmonize all this, and to be able to advance on these decisions that were taken. A secretariat was established in 2007 by the member states. This is where now we are sitting, where I come from, the TKCS secretariat, and for the aim of secretariat to be able to coordinate all decisions that are taken and to ensure that work that needs to be done is done for the benefit of the regional integration, and also to undertake studies which can actually advance and advise member states in terms of decisions that are key in terms of trade facilitation. The TKSMC's mandate is to facilitate the movement of goods and persons on the TKC by simplifying and harmonizing the requirements and controls that govern the movement of goods with a view to reduce transportation costs and transit times. And our vision, which we pride ourselves in, is that we want to be a leader in a leading corridor in trade facilitation for economic integration and development. And our mission is to facilitate seamless movement of goods and people along the TKC. Now, in coming up with our strategy, we came up with this, our strategic themes, which are the pillars of our organization. One is organizational efficiency. With this pillar, we say we are in to focus on organizational inputs or resources outputs, which to achieve the goals of the organization. It simply focuses on goal attainment by ensuring that the TSS contributes to accelerating economic integration and development. The second one is border management. The focus is on coordinated approach by border control agencies in the context of seeking greater efficiencies over managing trade and travel flows. The third pillar is the stakeholder management. This theme focus on improving stakeholder relation by identifying them and understanding their needs and expectations, as well as working together in implementing programs and projects to realize the strategic objectives. And our last pillar, which is also very, very important to us, is safety and security. This strategy focuses on securing high-level safety and security on the TKC, which will eventually increase the efficiency in facilitation and flows, and also the volumes on the TKC. And the poor road safety and security standards are barriers to trade, and this is very, very important for us. I'm sure we've seen and we've heard recently even of trucks being bent and hijackings and all that. So this is very, very important for to us. And the strategic objectives that we have coined and want to run. The one is to accelerate economic integration and development, and as well as to enhance stakeholder capacity, to have a responsive border regulatory framework, and to improve border infrastructure, because this is key. As we facilitate trade, border infrastructure is much relevant and much important for ease of transactions at the border. And I've already talked about the improve road safety and security, as well as to improve the road infrastructure itself, because if the road is not hospitable, then no operator or will use the corridor. So hence the infrastructure, road infrastructure is key. And of course, improve stakeholder relations, the way we interact with our stakeholders, our key stakeholders, the transporters, the traders, and all that. We need to want to improve that relation so that they'll be able to continue to use the corridor and for the benefit. Because any investor that wants to come and invest, as our politicians go out to lure investors, when they decide to invest, they want to know that there is a corridor that is safe, that is secure, that is reliable, that they can, that is also predictable, that they will use to channel their products to the market. Now, some of the projects that we are currently undertaking, which are quite important for us, is the development of legislation that encourages the use of sharing of information to facilitate trade among member states. This is quite key, because when a trader or an operator clears their goods in Namibia, Botswana should be able to access that information. Botswana Customs should be able to access that information for them to actually facilitate the operator smoothly and seamlessly without delays. So sharing of information in terms of connectivity for us is paramount. One other project that is key for us is the corridor performance monitoring system. This will allow us to able to measure the performance of the corridor and identify the indicators that actually are not working, so that we can able to enhance where there's need enhancement. The time release is something that also we want to work with, or we want to work on to conduct a study, so that we can actually be able to see, to measure the time that is actually for a product takes from the place of origin to the market, and see exactly what time it takes to be released from what point from a node, which is quite important for us. And of course, I talked about enforcement, which is quite key. And hence now the operation of legislation on dangerous goods. We have currently, Botswana have activated the legislation. South Africa also, but we still have Namibia, which have not activated the legislation on transport of dangerous goods. And this is quite important for us. And one a project that is also important for us is one-stop border post in Mamuno, it already been decided that Mamuno should be and of course a pioneer and Tlokwen. So these are important projects that we are currently undertaking. And of course the wellness centers, the truck stops to help in terms of fatigue, in terms of security of cargo, in terms of security of vehicles. Currently, we only have one truck stop on the TKC. So we want to see that we have other truck stops in Walvis Bay, Windhoek, Hobabis, Kang, Jwaneng, Lubatse, and Lihurutsi. We want to have truck stops there. So that trucks can actually rest there, the drivers can actually refresh, and these want also to be coupled with wellness centers, so that where our transporters can actually, the drivers can actually get assistance where if they need assistance in terms of their health, and also be able to rest, because fatigue is actually critical. Harmonization of traffic laws. We have identified a number of legislations that need to be harmonized, and we are currently working on them, as well as the SOP, standard operational procedure, for conducting roadblocks and checkpoints and all that, because we have discovered that the 3 member states, we don't do things the same. Hence, we want to do the same, because that is an operator, as they come to a roadblock or a checkpoint in Namibia, they should know that the same expectations are required in Botswana or South Africa, so that we are in harmony. And of course, working with SACU, we also want to develop the preferred trader program and implement it, so that to ease the declaration at the borders. I did talk about the one-stop border post. We did agree that Mamuno should be a one-stop border post, and what I can report is that the 2 members have already, legislated, came up with the legislation. We developed the model, then it was legislated by the 2 member states, and remaining is just for them to sign an agreement, and also to upgrade the infrastructure so that Mamuno becomes a one-stop border post. At Kopfontein, or at Kopfontein, as well as Tlokeng border, a decision also has already been taken also that those should, let me not say a decision, but a proposal has already been taken, which is being considered by Botswana. South Africa, they've already taken a decision that Kopfontein should be a one-stop border post. We are waiting for Botswana to actually also reciprocate that. But we, Pioneer, as well as Skipper Heg, a decision was taken that this also should be a one-stop border post. Now, at the TKC, we have had quite a number of achievements, which I'm not going to talk to all of them. One achievement that we have had in terms to facilitate trade is the development of a custom single administration document, SAD 500, which I'm sure some of you have used it whenever you cross the borders to clear your goods. You use that document to clear your goods. That is a document that we developed, pioneered it, piloted, and then we now start. After SACU saw the usefulness of the document, they adopted it now to be a SACU document. So it's now a SACU document, something that we are also very, very proud of. And we have also learned that SADC is also proposing that it should be a tripartite document. development of a cyclist charter, because we have also done that. We have developed a cyclist service charter, which is quite key for us, which stipulates everything that a user of the corridor will need and want to know. You can get assistance of emergencies and all that. And the alignment of the weighbridge operating time in Zerast to the border, because we used to close in Zerast. They used to close at half. Get the border at midnight, 12 o'clock. So we managed to negotiate with South Africa, and I'm happy to say that they managed to now align the operating times with the border operating time, and we have managed to harmonize our axle load from 8.2 to 9 tons. So between the member states, and we also aligned also we negotiated the closing time from 10 o'clock at all our borders to 12 midnight. And currently we are now negotiating that our border close at should operate 24 hours. So that is where we are right now. And we have also adopted common transit procedures within the 3 member states, which has eased actually operations at the border, and we are proud of ourselves that we managed to bring the delays from 2 hours to a day to about 30 minutes at the border. The downtime at the borders now we're 30 minutes. Of course, this is pre-COVID. COVID also came and now put us out of shape. So these are some of our achievements that we are proud of, and of course there are more which, for the sake of time, I won't actually talk to them. And the EU is important that corridors should be what you call smart corridors, and we are, as TKC, we are positioning ourselves so that the TKC becomes a smart corridor. SMART is an acronym for Safety, Mobility, Automated Real-Time Traffic Management. And with this, there are 6 pillars which are quite key, which is the single electronic window, cargo tracking, commercial vehicle tracking, container tracking, freight train tracking, and high visibility corridor efficiency monitoring. These are the pillars of smart corridor. And I want I'm happy to say that at the TKC, we are positioning ourselves so that the TKC becomes a smart corridor. And we are just actually kicking ourselves that if we have acted much sooner, some of the NTBs that we actually experienced during COVID, we could actually have able we wouldn't have had a problem with them, because in terms of if you are automated, there is actually a legal interaction with another human interaction. And now, of course, we have had challenges. We have challenges at TKC. Of course, sometimes we find that they are inconsistent and flagrant regulatory practices, whereby some regulatory bodies know they can constantly change rules and procedures, without probably even consultation. And this actually frustrates our our transporters. Get to the border, you find that now the rule that you knew applied. Now there's something else. And of course, that we deal also with decision makers. So hence sometimes find that there's that issue of slow decision making. sometimes find that you agree as 3 member states, but one member state will continue to implement, another one will be, because of different channels of making decisions in member states. One we will make a decision quite late, and hence implementation also becomes delayed. Funding challenges also. We as a organization, we depend on subvention from the member states, but this subvention is quite limited, and we are supposed also to be getting subventions from the private sectors, but currently we have not had any luck with the private sector. So we depend on the subvention from the member states. Hence, some of our projects, it becomes a difficult to implement. And I spoke of the challenge that we have had in terms of delays due to COVID. So COVID came now also gave us a lot of problems, and resource constraints in terms of personnel also is a challenge, which also we believe that we should be able to address, as we have actually did request to the member states to adjust their subvention upwards, so that we can able to hire more people. We can actually, so that more work can be done from this side. Yeah. So these are some of the challenges that we're having. Of course, the connectivity is a challenge, whereby member states cannot actually be able to share information, and the land issue also is a problem, whereby you find that we have had some entrepreneurs who are prepared to put up truck stops, but now when you go to the government authorities to get land for that, it becomes a problem. So that is one of the challenges that we have had.
Mr. Mpofu?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mpofu, I'm so sorry. May I request you summarize in 3 minutes, because we are
okay. Thank you very much.
Out of time. Okay.
Thank you very much. Yes, we have had a problem with COVID, and we know that the state of emergencies was declared, and we have had a COVID-19 spread, which actually, which actually meant that now the drivers are quarantined and all that. Only movement of essential goods only. Some countries were saying only one truck should have one driver, which actually impacted on overnight couriers and all that. So this this gave us a problem in terms of it increased queues at the borders and checkpoints. Curfews were imposed, and now we have even currently countries saying that for drivers to come in, they have to have PCR negative results, which are valid for 72 hours, and this actually has caused a lot of problems and consternation on the drivers, and cost as well. Costs have gone up. So of course we did also to try and mitigate on some of these. We undertook countrywide tours and visits to assess the situation, and also advocacy, to try and advocate and negotiate with the member states to ease, some of these regulations. And we did also establish virtual meetings, as well as corridor border monitoring forums, like on WhatsApp, so that we can operators can actually be able to on real time pinpoint problems that are having NTBs, and we address them. And we address them. In conclusion, let me just say that the TKCS work program is a robust trade facilitation program that seeks to have effective trade facilitation and eventually lower trading costs. And we are cognizant of the fact that transport operators and traders choose their routes based on performance of corridors, and these performance indicators are the distance-related operating costs, travel time, predictability of the transit, reliability of the services along the corridor, safety and security, as well as the hospitability of the route. These are therefore paramount for the TKC, and like we said, for it to remain a corridor of choice and to enhance deeper regional integration. Thank you. Mr. Mlobe?
Hello.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Mpofu, for your presentation. Right. We will now go over to the messages. My name is Rushka Mukugeng. I'm the CEO of the Mandla Mukugeng Foundation. We have partnered with Brand Hill since COVID and the lockdown. Our campaign has been awareness on social distancing and the safety precautions of, in connection with COVID. I am the MC for today. Welcome everyone. We will now move over to the chats. If everyone has a question, please put it on your chats. Thank you, Mr. Mpofu, once again for your wonderful presentation. If anyone would like to have the presentation, we will email it to you. Please send us your email addresses and we will email Mr. Mpofu's presentation to you. Thank you.